Arizona Bushcraft here. I was thinking just today about the term survivalist or prepper and what it means to me. I don't really, I've used these terms on myself for lack of a better term, but really what I practice is self-reliance. Okay, I'm the guy I can't see going to the store just for eggs because I need eggs. I mean, that's what chickens are for. Stuff like that. I mean, if I can fix it myself, I'll fix it myself. I don't rely a lot on, I'm not a big fan of gadgets and things that make life easier, so to speak. I don't see the point in all that. If it's something that I can't fix myself, then I'm sorry, I just don't see too much point in having it. Yeah, it can make my life easier for a short amount of time, but if I have the proper tools and the proper skill set, then that replaces gadgets and quick fixes. Like if you want to prep for a doomsday scenario, survival situation, like a lot of people do, you might go get you a big high-powered chainsaw, okay? That'll run forever, cut ungodly amounts of wood, all this and that. But if it runs out of fuel and there's no more fuel to put in it, or you don't have the means to get more fuel, it's just a hunk of junk. I'm sorry, but I mean, you can tie a rope on it, use it to anchor your boat with, maybe, but a handsaw, an axe, a auger, a froe, a lathe, with these things, that's how this country was built. I mean, what we call a survival situation today was once just everyday life. I mean, people had their tools and their skill set, and they carried their tools with them in covered wagons and came out to the western part of the United States and carved a home for themselves out of nothing. They had the means to cut down the trees to process the lumber. They had the skill set to use that lumber and build them a home and everything else that they needed. They had the skill set to hunt and to fish. And then on, they started to domesticate animals to where those other skills, they weren't as so much as needed, but still very important because things can change. And I just like to touch base on that I'm not trying to put anybody down or say that anybody else is wrong for what they do. I mean, like, primitive survival is very, very important to know. You should know how to build yourself a shelter. You should know how to set a snare, how to make a gill net, how to start a fire with a bow drill. Those things are priceless. That knowledge and that skill set to be able to do those things is priceless. But just you don't want to rely on it in a long-term situation. I mean, I don't want to be building a bow drill fire every day, a couple times a day. I don't want to do that. Okay? Especially if I'm tired, if I'm hungry, if it's raining, if it's snowing. I don't care how good you are. There's going to be a time where that fire is not going to take. It's not going to start. So, I mean, have the tools and the knowledge to use those tools. Have you a fire steel? Have you something to make char cloth in? Know how to use those things. Okay? I carry a big lighter with me. It's just how it is. And I know I was just saying don't rely on technology, and I know that big lighter's not going to last forever, but in an emergency situation where nothing else is going to work, that'll work. And I just believe in being prepared for, like I said, people would say it was a doomsday situation, but you just got to look at it as at one point in time that was just everyday life. It's not a big deal. If you have the proper tools and the skill set to use them, you can do anything with that. And there's a lot of gadgets out there today that'll make life simple and easy. Like that big lighter. It's real easy to start a fire with, but it's not going to last me forever. And I just thought I'd bring that to y'all today. I'm not dissing anybody's equipment or what they like to use, because I have a propane stove. I like to use water filters, but I don't put all my faith in those things, because eventually it will stop. And I can't fix them once they stop. And I think that's the most important thing as far as being a survivalist and a prepper. What that means to me is back to basics. Go back to basics. I mean, go to the swap meet. There's all kinds of old tools there that nobody wants. There's hand drills, hand saws, old axe heads, hatchet heads. You can pick them up for next to nothing. But those tools, they might be 100 years old already, but they're still working, and they're still gonna work. They'll get you through another 100 years. Like steel traps. I mean, everybody should know, if you call yourself a survivalist, you should know how to set a snare, how to build a fish trap, things like that. But don't, I mean, that's for emergencies. Have yourself, if you plan on trapping for food, get some good traps. Same as those other tools. I mean, they might be 100 years old, they'll be 200 years old, and somebody else will be using them as long as they've been taken care of. And I just thought I'd bring that to you. And those are just my thoughts on it. I'm not saying anybody else is wrong. I mean, whatever floats your boat, however you want to do. If that works for you, by all means. I'm not trying to contradict anybody. But that's my philosophy on it. And just thought I'd bring that to y'all. So, until next time, stay safe. See you.